that's the last time you'll hear my name this evening. So, congratulations, Human Services Council, on your 20th anniversary. And I've had the privilege, actually since 1990, when I was in City Hall, to work closely with the Human Services Council. Congratulations to Jack, a true friend, colleague, and mentor. And it's really been a privilege for United Way of New York City to have been with the Human Services Council literally since the very beginning. And the person who was instrumental in creating and leading the Human Services Council for so many years was Horace Morris, along with Steve Solander of UJA. Horace's passing is a real loss for our sector, and even more importantly, for the individuals, the families, and the communities he touched. United Way of New York City, along with the New York City Urban League, Black Agency Executives, and HSC will be having a celebration of Horace's life in 2012. Details will be forthcoming. Speaking of stellar individuals, it gives me great pleasure to present the Human Services Leadership Award to Elwanda Young. In 2007, I've been extremely fortunate to experience firsthand Elwanda's unwavering commitment to our city. As our Senior Vice President and Chief Operating Officer and a member of the United Way family for the past 20 years, Elwanda, aka Wanda, exhibits the kinds of professional and personal qualities and traits that many of us can only dream about. And I know Larry and Ralph, who are with us this evening, totally agree with me. She is at once passionate and compassionate, self-reliant and collaborative. She is a visionary who not only recognizes the critical needs of the unheard voices and underserved communities of our city, but she also possesses the uncommon capacity to bring people together, inspire them, and lead them to help create meaningful change. A very special person. Indeed, the depth of her devotion to New York City and its millions of residents strive to experience a better lives for themselves and their families is infinite, overwhelming. Throughout her career, from serving as Executive Director at Elmore Youth and Adult Activities, a community-based organization in Queens, to building strategies around the critical areas of education, health, and financial stability at United Way, Wanda's generous spirit of giving simply cannot be emphasized enough. And all the while, she has somehow found time to offer ample insights and skills on the boards of many organizations, including Black Agency Executives, Make the Grade Foundation, Community Board 3 in Queens, and is Vice President of the Queens branch of the NAACP, among others. Elwanda is truly a champion of diversity. She lives it, she breathes it, she represents it, and serves as a role model for so many of us in United Way and so many in the community. Of course, ever humble, she will likely insist she's just doing the right thing. She's just doing her job. She is quick to deflect attention and glory for any accomplishments to others. However, there's one person she's more than willing to talk with you about, the apple of her eye, her granddaughter, Yifei. And I have to add, a real cutie. And for me personally, Elwanda is a colleague. But I have to tell you, so much more than just a colleague, a friend, a confidant, someone who I can go to for sage advice and guidance. But I have to tell you, she's more than willing to give me her best thinking in terms of what's the right thing to do. And I like to think of us as two peas in the pod, because we can each finish each other's sentences. Ladies and gentlemen, Elwanda Young.
Oh, Wanda the crier, Young. Oh, wow. First, I'd like to acknowledge Michael Stoller and the staff of the Human Services Council and the Executive Committee, all the members. I'd also like to acknowledge my fellow honoree, Jack, my friends, my family, and my colleagues. And I see my daughter and my granddaughter and Curtis, my friend, and my beloved Gregory and Janine and so many other friends who came out. And I just want to thank you so much. Now, as many of you knew, I grew up in a very, 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 very small town in Statesville, North Carolina. And as a matter of fact, when I think back, there were probably 100 people, 100 families that lived in that community. That's how small it was. And so that meant that you knew everybody. I knew all of my friends' parents, or as I called them back then, they mamas and they papas. I knew their grandparents, I knew their aunties and their uncles and their cousins and their brothers. And so you can imagine this was a very tight-knit community. And it was a tight-knit community where people shared their time, their talent, and their resources. And so if there was a senior in the community that was in need of a meal, someone in the community would reach out and make sure that that person was taken care of. And so from this small town in North Carolina, I came to understand what true community service is all about. And then I was fortunate enough to come to New York City, where I just moved into and stepped into an even larger community. Because that's all New York City is, it's just a larger community. And here, it's no coincidence that my life, my professional life, is in the human services sector. And I'm just amazed and awed every day by each and every one of you and the work that you do. You advocate for the homeless. You provide meals for those that are in need. You provide financial literacy, education. You just do so many things to make a difference in people's lives. And so I'm just awed and inspired each and every day. And when you talk about leadership, I've been very fortunate that I have worked with some truly amazing leaders. Ralph Dickerson, or R.D., as I affectionately call him, Larry Mandel, Lillian Barrios Paoli, and Gordon Campbell, and the late Horace Morris. And so I just want to thank each and every one of you for this honor. And I don't know, I had this speech, but I'm not sticking to it. Just thank you so much.